Yeah.
Enemies of the pod number one.
Number one, the OG Minnesota United.
The OG Minnesota United. Spoiler alert, they're dead last this year.
Oh boy, here we go. It's starting early.
They're dead last in the West, followed by FCC dead last in the East. Don't you dare cross this podcast.
Oh boy. You want to kick things
Um,
off after that one?
I will. I
I'm going to
will.
assume you're going to say nobody after that.
Are you give like something on my screen? Minnesota, nobody. Their whole team sucks, and nobody wants their players. Is that good enough for you? Um,
Sure.
I'm watching Hassani Dotson and I'm watching Kervin Arriaga. I think those two guys have, with Hassani Dotson being so versatile, playing either outside back spot, all across the midfield. I think a lot of teams can see his ability and maybe put him in there. I know he was not coming off a ton of appearances, but he's always been somebody to watch. He was in the US U23. I believe he was hurt last season, so something to keep an eye on there. But Arriaga at 24 years old has the ability to come in. He's just one of those enforcing, crunching type of center mids that I think has the ability to come in and be really impressive. Um, I didn't see a lot of players at in the youth, 18, 17, 16 years old that are ready to make that next step. However, they did just lose the one guy I thought that was going to be there was Azil Jackson, who went to St. Louis. So not a ton coming up, but I do think Arriaga has that South American CDM fit where he's going to come in and crunch you. So somebody to watch for sure.
So I've also got Hassani Dotson on there. Although Dotson is coming off an injury season, I think, considering he only played 7 games last year.
Yes, that's what I'm assuming. Sorry, before you continue, I left the obvious ones off. Right, Reynoso. Yes, everybody knows Reynoso is a top 5 player in the league and can make a move whenever he wants. I don't think Minnesota's in the ready to let go of the only player that has brought them to the playoffs for the last 3 years.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
wanted
I
to
have
throw that.
Reynoso on my list, not because I think Minnesota will let him go, but because he can. Um, 26 years old, and he's been one of the best players in this league. 100% could make a move to Europe tomorrow if he wanted to. It's just whether or not Minnesota would let him. Um, and the last person I had on my list is Dane Sinclair. I think Dane should stay one more season at least, and then I think he could make a jump, but I think he has the quality. I think now that Tyler Miller is gone and it's finally his net and solely his net, unless they make some stupid move and bring someone else in to compete, I think he should stay the season, lock it down for a full season, and then after he's done balling out, go make a move to Europe because I think he has the quality to do so.
So here's what I will tell you: is that Dane Sinclair goes nowhere until he can start for Canada. There is the rule, the international rule that you don't get a visa if you don't play for your national team. It's the reason Andre Blake is still here, because if Andre Blake was not Jamaican and if he was, gosh, hell, even let's say he was, I can't think of a country right now in Africa. Cameroonian.
Cameroonian.
Yeah, let's go Cameroonian, right? The level for the Cameroonian visa is higher than Jamaica. The number of caps you need for Jamaica are ridiculous. So that's the reason that he can't get a visa to go over there. Otherwise, he'd be there in a heartbeat. Minnesota did just sign Clint Irwin, but I don't assume that he'll take over anything from Dane. But I don't think Dane goes anywhere until
But then how
he.
does Alfonso Davies and Ismail Kone get moves then?
There are there's a review board, a review panel that says if a player is high profile, like high potential enough. So
Are you just
they
talking about
review.
English permits?
I have no idea. I think it was Europe,
I would think it
but
depends country by country.
it might do. It might do.
But even okay, so even if he needs to be starting, I think he's got a shot at it at the moment because Crepeau's gonna probably be out for a while. Borjan's only getting older. I feel like Dane's next in line then.
Or would it be Pantemis?
I feel like full season Dane beats out Pantemis on a
We'll see.
struggling Montreal team.
New rules come into place for EPL and EFL work permits. Club will now need to apply for a governing body endorsement for a work permit for pretty much any overseas player who doesn't hold a British passport. Many clubs struggle to get work permits for outside the EU. Some clubs would still sign African or South American players, but would send them out for loan. Yeah, so they're saying players 18 or over playing regularly in the top 5 leagues in Europe basically are guaranteed a work permit. Regular internationals for a top 50 ranked nation guaranteed a work permit. That is the verbiage, because Jamaica will never be top 50 in the FIFA rankings. It'll be so hard for him to get a move.
Yeah, but we're
Now,
talking about Dane. We're not talking about Andre Blake. Canada are top 50.
no, but Canada's not top 50. They just dropped out.
Oh, did they with the new
Yeah,
rankings?
they just dropped out. So again, that makes things a lot tougher. Now, again, could he be signed and then loaned to a different one? I don't know if there are rules outside of that, but that is the line that I
Or he
remember.
just doesn't move to England. He moves to like again, Belgium, Netherlands. I don't know, somewhere like that. Develop a little bit
Copa
more and move on.
Libertadores and Sudamericana minutes are highly valued. Work permits are almost guaranteed there as well. But that is, I just found the line. So yeah, it sounds like it is more just for EPL, EFL, but I don't know if there are other rules for how do you say
Yeah,
the
I
other
would I
countries.
would assume the other countries have different rules. I mean, I don't think they're going to all have the same permit rules, but we'll see what happens. I mean, like I said Dane should stay for another year. I think if he does that, Minnesota's playing well and he's playing consistently, he could definitely challenge for a Canadian starting spot in that team. And I think by then, Canada will jump up. Canada, in my opinion, is definitely a top 50 team. And they will move up the 3 spots that they need to jump into the top 50. We'll see what happens. I just think Dane has the quality to make a move to Europe.